What's up, people? Long time no see. Going at it again. We got to skip out of the ancient megaliths and get something straight with Einstein and Newton. Something seriously wrong. What do they teach you first thing in science and math? You can't multiply apples and oranges. You gotta turn them into oranges or apples. You know what I mean? You gotta reduce it down to the same unit of measurement. Well, I was watching Einstein Newton there, and I've read relativity, and I'm not saying he's got some good ideas, good stuff. It's working. I mean, there's a lot of math, there's a lot of science that he brought through. Both guys are brilliant, but when we went into this, we went off the rails. He went out of orbit. Albert went out of orbit when he started to say, time and gravity are the same thing. Now, we have rotational, centripetal, or centrifugal forces with the planets, So the argument was, Einstein said that, when Newton claimed that if the sun disappeared instantaneously, Newton said the planets would just fall right out of orbit along with them. And then Einstein did some work with light. He said, you get the speed of light thing going on. And he says, no, the planets would stay in orbit until, 8 minutes, basically, the time it takes for the sun's light to reach the Earth or the other planets. And then they would peel off or, fall out of orbit. So we'll watch a little video of Newton here. And what his explanation was. Here's the sun, planets going around, and then you'll see the sun disappear, and then you'll see the planets just careen out of orbit. Okay, alright, so this is what really happens. Okay, now if you took the sun out, they're going to be going, because your Einstein is confusing gravitational torque between two bodies. Okay, there's a, and we'll use his fabric of space. We're going to use Einstein's fabric of space to defeat his argument. Okay, so it's the fabric of space that binds and bonds the two planets, or the star and the planet, together. It's not light. Light is not binding the two together. So if you remove the star, the sun, okay, you're removing the torque that keeps the two held together in the fabric of space. Now, the torque comes from, say, the Earth to the sun. They're both coming at each other from two different directions. It's not one direction. It's not flowing out with the sun, the light of the sun. It's not holding out a string or something like that. And then you are. You actually are holding on to the string. But in Einstein's theory, the planets stay in orbit after the sun disappears. In his mind, he thinks that the fabric of space is not, has some kind of speed attached to it. It's instantaneously. It's just a string holding the two together. Okay, so if you take out the energy, the gravitational force that's holding, the gravitational pull that's holding the Earth in orbit around the sun, it's going to move right away because the fabric of space has been interrupted. It's going to flow right out because you've lost that gravitational dent in the fabric of space. So we're going to use Einstein's theory of the fabric of space, his concept, to defeat his idea that the light, you have to wait until the light travels. All right, we're going to go and watch Albert's stuff here, and we'll see what he comes up with. It's at 4:38. All right, so I'm liberating some graphics from Nova. They'll probably get me on a copyright infringement, but that's all right. All right, here's Einstein's theory right here. Here's the Earth cruising around in orbit around the sun. Then all of a sudden, The sunlight travels 8 minutes to get there. Okay, we're immersed in sunlight. And then it disappears, and then it stays on until the light gets to the planet. I mean, that's Newton's theory. That's Newton's theory. It peels right off. Now we're gonna watch. I had the two mixed up, so it just careens out. Here's Albert. It's all looking spiffy. He's confusing two things: apples and oranges. He's confusing the whole process. It's like light is not holding the planet together. The fabric of space is holding the planet in orbit. Okay, it's the fabric. You take away the gravitational field, that fabric that's binding the two planets together is going to it's going to allow the planet to move instantaneously out of orbit. It's just going to go. All right. So that's my theory. And then we could zip up to 620 here. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just total madness, really. I mean, it's just complete insanity. You know, you can propagate the speed of light. The speed of light gets slowed down by gravity. Okay, you know, black holes, which there are no black holes. It's a dark star. You know, it's basically the star gets so big that light can't escape it. Well, it doesn't just like instantaneously stop the light. As the star gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the light flows less and less and less at the speed of light. It travels slower because the gravitational force is pulling it back into itself. So there are many instances where, you know, light travels slower, and then, you know, if it travels slower, then you should be able to propagate it and go faster than the speed of light. I think everybody's already kind of on board with that anyway. So I'm not really down with his theory on the cosmic speed limit of light. I think there's more to it than that. All right, here's Albert's fabric of space-time. Okay, I don't even know if there's time in there, but we'll just play with it. And this is the fabric. All right, so this is the fabric that's holding the planets together. Okay, right there. I mean, this is it. So if you remove the sun, the fabric that's holding, that's connecting the two, which is gravity. It's not fabric. It's a fabric made of gravitational waves, gravitational energy. All right. So if you remove that, this section right in here that's connected to this, because you got centripetal. These people they just ignore other forces that are out there. The thing that prevents the Earth from going streaming into the sun, gravitational force of the sun, is the actual centrifugal force in the orbit around the sun. Okay, so we're doing 66,000 miles an hour. If we weren't doing that speed, if we're doing just stopped in the middle of our orbit, the sun would pull us right. Its gravitational force would pull us right into it. Yeah, it's just common sense here, people, or scientific sense, whatever you want to call it. So let's go back and visit what I'm talking about here. Okay, so you got a fabric. You take the sun out. The fabric is moving instantaneously because there's a gravitational torque between the two planets. You remove that, it's going to instantly allow these planets to just careen off out of their orbits and go into wherever, deep space. Okay, so you'd be a rogue planet. That being said, I think that's that's it. That's it. It's a pretty short video. I don't have much more to offer to you, but the speed of light. I use the speed of light in my equations that I've come up with to explain how gravity works on Earth. So it's good. It's a constant. It's great for an energy. Convert everything into an energy formula by squaring light, and it all works good for me. So I'm not saying we just throw the baby out of the bathwater, but as far as gravity and light are concerned, you can't say this. You can't attach light and gravity. They're two separate entities. They're two separate forces altogether. Two separate wavelengths, two separate dimensions, completely independent of each other. You know, and light is gravity's the incipient stage of everything. Like you know, deep space, empty space, vacuum of space is made up of gravity. Even it's neutral. It's you know, it's in a state of rest. Okay, you know, it's just like putting an ice cube in a glass of water. Put an ice cube in a glass of water, you're going to get pressure on all sides. Okay, so that's gravity in a, you know, simplistic term. I mean, you stick a planet in the fabric of space, you're displacing the space. So in essence, it becomes a ratio between the mass and what was empty space. Okay, and all mass is made of atoms. Blah 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 blah. But this is what's going on. Everybody's, you know, we're all getting sidetracked here, and what is and what isn't. So any questions, hit me up. And I think I made my point. All right. I got some more stuff coming out. Been on a sabbatical, and you know, we're gonna have to call these people out. You know, we're calling everybody out. All right, peace out, people.